Gamer Nickmercs banned from Twitch after using anti-trans slur. Online video game streamer Nickmercs is involved in drama once again after being barred from Twitch after using an anti-trans slur during a live stream. So, has lots of slurs and anger to throw at trans people, not quite as much anger to throw at his friend who just got exposed for being a groomer, and a really bad one. I'm going to go into the Rolling Stone article in a second, and ideally that'll be the last time I have to report on this, because I was talking about this all last week, and it's been draining. I have to talk about Dr. Disrespect and his wild defenders online, of which there's lots, and they don't stop. I saw that Grums was apparently saying that this whole thing could be a conspiracy, where Twitch was trying to seduce Dr. Disrespect by posing as a minor. Yeah, so that was Grooms. And at the end of the day, like, if you watch the show To Catch a Predator, the predator is not the hero of the story. I hope that's clear. Like the whole, yeah, you know, Chris Hansen is going to pretend to be a minor so that a disgusting ass pedophile can be caught trying to pick up a minor. The same thing that police officers who try to target people who target children do. That whole procedure. Yeah, even if that was the case, of which there is zero evidence, zero, by the way. Grums is just saying that based on some, like, this apparently could be a leaked Discord log of a leaked email of a leaked, it's like, but there's zero evidence to show that this is the case. But okay, this is the story you're going to go with, that apparently Twitch may have been trying to expose him as a groomer. Then they exposed a groomer who was a top-tier streamer. Then isn't that a good thing if that was the case? Like, I don't understand how that suddenly becomes like, whoa, Twitch totally, you know, put him in a situation that he simply could not have otherwise dealt with. I disagree with this point about the Green Party. Thank you very much, Thomas Jerome Newton. I believe that donor was probably for the prior segment. So Nick Kolcheff, better known by the name Nickmercs, was kicked off of the streaming platform Friday, June 28th, reportedly going on an anti-trans rant last month. There's no such thing as trans people, he's reported to have said, before using the T-slur. Addressing the ban on X and Twitter, the controversial FaZe Clan member wrote, "Apparently that's a derogatory term. That's on me. Next time I'll use mental health disorder." Nickmercs is no longer a stranger, or sorry, is not a stranger to drama and controversy, and has promoted anti-LGBTQ+ conspiracy theories. During Pride Month last year, he posted in response to a tweet about an alleged assault on pro-LGBTQ+ protests in Florida, writing, "They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue." His post appears to be a reference to the conspiracy theory that LGBTQ+ people, particularly those who do drag, are, quote, groomers, a claim built on homophobic prejudice with no evidence behind it. Kolcheff has also previously shown his disdain for trans people, accusing Mr. Beast's sidekick, Ava Tyson, who is trans, of leaving behind your wife and child to play pretend. Tyson has regularly stated that while she divorced her spouse after coming out, she has still had a very good relationship with Katie and their child. Kolcheff's behavior has resulted in the video game series Call of Duty removing a bundle named after him following anti-LGBTQ+ remarks in 2023. Twitch has not clarified whether it will allow Kolcheff, who has more than 6.7 million followers, to return to the platform. So I guess it's just for an unknown amount of time as of right now. All right, I want to quickly take a look at this.
All right, let's talk about Nickmercs. Nicholas Merkinson. That's right, my goat, or rather Ron DeSantis' goat, or he thinks Ron DeSantis is the goat. Anyway.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. You mean the goat? Keep your dumb ass up there and what? I don't even know what this means.
Earlier today, Twitch partner Nickmercs was banned this morning, I guess, or midnight last night at 12:03 a.m. 6/28/24. And a lot of people were like, what the f, why is this happening? Why did he get banned? Well, it turns out he actually very openly revealed why he got banned. Banned for using the word T-word, I'm not going to say it, on Twitch. Apparently, that's a derogatory term. That's on me. Next time I'll use mental health disorder. Jake Lucky says, this might surprise some of you, but he's had quite a few rants on trans people for...
Yeah. See, part of the entire debacle with Dr. Disrespect and his defenders was that for the very first couple days, they all did this thing where immediately they're all just like, oh, I think he's being unfairly targeted. These are very wild accusations. There's no evidence to back them up. No one's seen the logs. Did this even happen? And then, you know, Dr. Disrespect, and this is what made this situation more unique than others, kind of pulled the rug from underneath everybody and was like, yeah, I did that shit. And so at which point they're like, okay, well, he said minor, but then he edited minor out, but then he put it back in. And now he said that he was messaging a minor, and then it did lean on the inappropriate. But outside of that, we don't know what they said. And so the stories changed multiple times, right? Geeks and Gamers, the Quartering, all the defenders have had to move in different cycles to go from, well, this was basically an accusation by someone who was promoting his own band, to how much did Twitch know, to, okay, Nickmercs admitted it, but he didn't say how bad it was. We don't have the logs. We don't know how truly bad it could have been until we see exactly what he was saying to a minor. All these kind of weird ass disgusting defenses. Like, as soon as he admitted to it, that should have been enough for everyone, even his strongest defenders, to suddenly be like, okay, well, yes, he did that shit because he said he did that shit. That should be enough. The story by Rolling Stone dropped on Friday, the one that has much worse details. Speaking under anonymity, several people who were familiar with the situation said that was something that he was both aware of. Dr. Disrespect knew that he was messaging minors, and that he was also messaging them in a sexual nature, and that even though he was aware of their age, that didn't matter to him. And then apparently he had done it again. So it's much worse than everyone thought, and so it's pretty gross to see people still trying to think of ways to try and defend this. I've seen everything other than people holding Dr. Disrespect accountable, right? Like even Nickmercs here, his friend who was ready to go to war, as of a week ago, basically did one quick video where it's like, all right, so the doc was messaging maybe someone who was underage. Weird. That was weird. And then, yeah.
A couple of weeks now. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Nickmercs understands personally that he is now absolutely on the turf brain, terminal brain poison. I've talked about this a bit. The normative position, the broad majority's position is that, like, I don't really understand this trans stuff. I don't really think about it. It's kind of weird. I don't get it. This doesn't mean it's the correct position. It's just the position of the population. Everybody understands it. It's like slightly transphobic, right? But for the most part, it's just like, I don't really know. And there's two routes you can go, okay, beyond that. You can either go the route of like, let me investigate what this is about. And then you learn about trans people. You learn that they're just like normal. It's just like, think of it like gay plus, okay? If you're a normie and you've never encountered a trans person and you don't fully understand it, maybe you're a little scared, right? And then you find out about it and you're like, oh, okay, it's whatever. It's just like another type of person. You know what I mean? There's many different types of people out there, right? There's Republicans out there. So you either go on that path and then you don't become a transphobic weirdo, or you lean into the fears that you have and you look at trans people and you're like, oh my God, this is like undermining everything that I've learned about gender without.
It does break brains. Graham Linehan destroyed his mind, completely corrupted it, the top on down, and it put him in this weird position where he's got to kind of like just change his whole worldview, because the very idea of what gender is a social construct. Okay, I'm listening, but I'm a little scared and I don't understand, and I'm kind of worried about this. Some people can be born cis. You're cis. Okay, I get it so far. Some people are born trans and they're misidentified. They're assigned the wrong gender when they're born. And at that point is where they break. Or in the case of Graham Linehan, he's quite open about it, was the fact that he could not process the concept of a woman's penis. That broke his mind, and it destroyed him. And at that point, he just couldn't accept reality anymore. And since then, he's found himself being friends with weirdos, cowards, the biggest, let's take a look at some of the, I had these actually prepared, and I thought they might be pretty indicative. Someone like Posey Parker, for example, one of the biggest TERFs, one of the biggest transphobes, and one of the people who's often saying that they are, in fact, not a bigot. They're feminists. They're radical feminists, and they're radical feminists who want to exclude trans people from feminism, and so they want to have their own form of feminism that excludes trans people. It turns out, though, that it's not just trans people that a lot of these people want to exclude, because again, they're not specifically feminists; they're bigots.
She does look like she likes sex. She looks like somebody who is a completely sexualized version of...
So she's speaking about Yasmin Benoit, and she's an activist in Britain. She has been in this year especially, a very front-facing activist within the LGBTQ+ community. She is a asexual advocate, And at this point, I believe she was one of the people who was the front marchers in the Pride Parade in England, and someone who's been doing a lot of very important work, I think, trying to educate people on asexuality, aromanticism, and these concepts that a lot of people have a lot of trouble with. And in a lot of her campaigns, she dresses, this will shock some people, how she wants to dress. As in, yeah, the way most people should be allowed to dress. You should dress the way you want to dress, right? That's, I thought, something that, you know, feminists, most people agree on. You shouldn't have men trying to dictate exactly what clothing you should or can or cannot wear at any given time. And as part of that, because other people find her sexually attractive, it has broken their brains. Like, she posts pictures. I'll show one of the pictures that she posts about asexual pride. I did it. It was an honor to be the first asexual person to lead Pride in London. Asexual representation matters. Our recognition matters. Our protection matters. Our voices matter. We matter. Thank you all for your support throughout the day. And this is what asexual looks like. The responses to this tweet are filled with a lot of horny men and some angry women all saying, why are you dressed like that then? Oh, what? I'm supposed to believe that you're asexual and you're presenting yourself in a sexual way? And it's like, being asexual doesn't have anything to do specifically with you. You can be a sexual person. You can be sexual and you can find other people sexually attractive. You're just screaming that out loud. That's not really news. Everyone already knew that, right? Just to be like, oh, yeah, but why would you dress like this? Why would you dress in that way? It's confusing me. And then Posey Parker saying, Yasmin looks like she likes sex. And they went on to describe her looking like a cheap bottle of wine.
She looks like somebody who is a completely sexualized version of a very cheap bottle of wine.
So again, it's feminism, but not feminism for black women, not feminism for asexual people, for asexual women. That feminism doesn't encompass that aspect of, I guess, the entire femininity or the feminine idea or ideal, I should say. So if you're asexual, then yeah, you're going to get made fun of by the very people who claim to be feminists and standing up for the rights of women specifically. And again, I think, you know, Yasmin's own activism is a really great way for other people to kind of realize people who dress how they want to dress are not specifically dressing for you. They can be dressing for themselves. They can want to feel sexy and not be sexually attracted to other people, or sexually desire other people, or be romantically involved with other people or desire other people. That is completely fine. Like this, strangely enough, even though Posey Parker is on the other side of it, goes back to the very concept of women being told and being blamed sometimes for their own sexual assaults with the question, well, how are you dressed? Where were you walking at night? Where were you going at night? Were you in a dangerous part of town? Was that a place where there's lots of dark alleys? How were you dressed? Were you dressed provocatively? I mean, if you were dressed provocatively, doesn't that also imply that you were looking to have a sexual experience because of the way you were dressed? Because that's why you would dress that way, right? Is to have a sexual experience. Otherwise, you would not dress that way. You would dress less provocatively.
Any care or consideration to, like, maybe the things you learned about gender and the social conditioning you have on it is faulty, you know, and you just go, nope, I'm not, you know, society's wrong. I'm not wrong. I cannot be wrong. In my heart of hearts, I know I'm right. And then you
start going after LGBTQ plus people, putting like targets on them. The Dr. Disrespect fiasco, fallout, and the subsequent defense and the changes in the defense, as in, like, it really seems like there's a lot of people, especially Grums, who want to defend Dr. Disrespect or find anything other than blaming him for being, again, a groomer, right? Like, that should be the start and the end of this entire thing, not like bringing this shit up. Did Twitch bait Dr. Disrespect by pretending to be a minor? This is nuts. Again, unverified source from a very dubious potential source. Call of Shame is the source here. And again, there's absolutely no confirmation that any of this is true. You know, Rod, who works with Slasher, has also stated that there's absolutely no evidence that any of this is real. And even in the case that this was what happened, as in Twitch was doing a To Call a Predator just internally, where they were trying to tempt Dr. Disrespect into meeting up with a minor, and once he was involved in that, they then decided to drop him. Again, isn't the bad guy Dr. Disrespect? to catch a predator, the bad guy is the predator, right? It's not Chris Hansen for trying to catch a predator. I guess that doesn't apply to this. So this was the bombshell article that I hopefully puts a nail in the coffin of all of this. 4 years after gamer celebrity and streaming star Dr. Disrespect 42 was banned from Twitch for undisclosed reasons, reports emerged this week that he had allegedly used Amazon-owns platform directed messaging feature to send sexually explicit text to a minor. Now the internal response to those alleged conversations, long subject of rumor and speculation, is finally coming to light. In June 2020, there was a Me Too reckoning within the gaming community, with dozens in the industry leveling more than 70 allegations of sexual misconduct and assault against high-profile streamers, esports broadcasters, and game developers. Twitch responded to the outcry on June 21st, 2020, promising to take strong and immediate action on credible allegations against their creators. We take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously, the company said in a statement. We are actively looking into accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect, a flamboyant game personality and one of the most popular creators on Twitch with 4 million followers at the time, was permanently banned from the platform after 5 days. Renowned for playing battle royale, shoot 'em up games in a character as a kind of alpha jock. I can't speak today. Alpha jock, sporting a thick mustache and mullet wig. He signed a major multiplayer deal with the company in March. Commenting on his lifetime suspension, Twitch would only confirm that he had violated community guidelines. Soon after, Discord cut him loose from their partnership program, reserved for the most active and popular server communities. Beam went on to sue Twitch over financial losses and reputational damages and settled with the company in 2022. Neither party admitted to any wrongdoing, and the details of this legal agreement remain unclear. Meanwhile, the cause for the ban remained a mystery, prompting years of innuendo, conspiracy theories, and questions about why Twitch would not, nor gaming journalists have to reveal the nature of Beam's violation. Full disclosure, the primary author of this article, Rod, first learned the reason for Beam's ban for being credible in June 2020, but chose not to report on it due to extreme sensitivity of the topic, and honestly to, again, support and protect the victims. The gossip reached a fever pitch on June 21st when former Twitch employee Cody Connors, without naming Beam, tweeted what many interpreted as an explanation of why he'd been banned. Beam denied any wrongdoing in a tweet the following day. I didn't do anything wrong. All of this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found. But after independently reviewing internal Twitch communications and interviewing a source with the knowledge of the situation, Rolling Stone had learned that Beam was kicked off the platform in 2020 for allegedly sexting a minor through a messaging feature called Whispers, even after learning that she was underage. He also allegedly inquired about her plans to attend TwitchCon, the company's semi-annual gaming convention. On Monday, Dr. Disrespect was fired from Midnight Society, the gaming studio he co-founded, which said it also investigated the allegations against him. After learning of it the night of Connor's cryptic tweet, the company did not reply for a request for comment. Then on Tuesday, reporting from The Verge, Ash Parrish and the Bloomberg Cecilia D'Anastasio matched the details of Beam's case to Connor's account. 3 sources confirmed to Bloomberg that Beam had been kicked off the site for sending direct messages to a minor that included sexually graphic details. 2 of those sources also confirmed that Beam had asked about her plans for the upcoming TwitchCon. Beam, who did not reply for a request for comment on the story, again once took to Twitter to defend himself, this time with a longer statement in which he admitted to having a mutual conversation with a minor that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate. The tweet's edit history shows that Beam had edited the tweet after posting it to remove the word minor, replacing it with individual, though once readers noticed the change, the word minor reappeared. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met with the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and the case was resolved by a settlement. But trust me when I say this to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. What's extra funny about this now is knowing that he wanted to write like this letter to obviously be as like kick-ass and alpha as possible, you know, just right on brand with the Dr. Desperate, motif that I had fostered, and had to show this to a legal team, and the legal team had to go over it and be like, so you can't say that, can't say this, cross that out, so you'll have to say this, put that there was an arbitration, this has been settled out of court, no wrongdoing was admitted, and then afterwards go back to, then you can add fuck off at the very end. Sure, that's totally fine, but this has to be in there. You can't change that at all. But then afterwards, just go as wild as you want. A former Twitch trust and safety employee who worked on the platform at the time was banned, had direct knowledge of the matter, confirmed to Rolling Stone that he continued to send sexually graphic messages to a minor he knew to be underage. This former employee, who requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their career, also said that crucial elements of his latest offensive tweet are inaccurate. Quote, I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on, the former employee said. There was no confusion. Messages sent after this acknowledged were no less graphic and sexually explicit in nature than before, and I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. The ex-Twitch employee also provided Rolling Stone with a more detailed account of internal conversations at Twitch following the report of his messages and subsequent ban. They say details of his case are coming out because of Connor's explosive tweet last week. Cody definitely got the ball rolling. Me and many former colleagues are not only comfortable speaking about it now, our priority is always the safety of the alleged victim and to keep their identity secret. As some of its streamers faced a flood of sexual misconduct allegations in June, Twitch created an incident response team codenamed Gold Sparrow to develop a process to investigate and take action on the reports. As one unit, the former employee says, we want to be able to process the mounting investigations quicker with more resources while providing as much support for the victims as possible, the former employee says. When the initial report about Beam's alleged inappropriate messages came through, an investigation began. After viewing the content of the whisper conversation, it became clear the egregiousness of conduct and what actions Twitch must take. The decision to permanently terminate Beam was relatively quick due to the severity of the behavior. So, now that this is all out there, everything that anyone has used to defend him is frankly disgusting. And honestly, at this point, multiple people should either be issuing corrections or apologies. And on top of that, what was taking place internally in Twitch, they actually contacted, he was reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children the day of his ban, in compliance with federal law. That should answer a lot of the questions people keep asking. Why was this not brought to authorities? It was. Why was it not dealt with immediately? It was. Why was there not an internal investigation? There was. All those things. Okay, well, fine, but did Dr. Disrespect know that it was a minor? He did. In fact, he knew that and then continued. Okay, well, do we know how sexual they were? People who investigated it said that they were sexual in nature, and that even after he found out that they were underage, he continued to do graphically sexual conversations with a minor, at which point, yes, they took it upon themselves and decided and made a very quick decision based on the egregiousness, like the level of depravity that was going on the behalf of Dr. Disrespect, that they had to terminate this immediately. Twitch can and won't make alleged messages public, the ex-employee said, as this not only endangers the victim and the investigations by law enforcement, and also, what more do you all need at this point? Who is left? Who is left to be like, okay, well, but Grums? Is that it? Does Grums need appeasing? You know? In early 2021, the Trust Safety Team created the OIST, an investigation team for reports of off-site misconduct by creators. At the time, the company described the initiative as a direct response to allegations of sexual misconduct that surfaced across the gaming industry in the summer. It realized that our current policy regarding off-service misconduct was not clear enough. Following Beam's ban from Twitch and time away from the spotlight, he announced a return to streaming in YouTube in August 2020, but while he was free to use both the platform and Facebook Gaming, neither offered him an exclusive partnership. His lack of streaming contract was notable for a celebrity in the industry at the time, of other streamers like Valkyrie, Ludwig, and Tim the Tatman were signing seven-figure multi-year deals. So he stayed on YouTube, and I guess he was just making enough money there through subscriptions alone that he didn't have to worry about getting also an exclusive contract. But I just want to add here that there are videos of Dr. Disrespect saying out loud that Kick offered him, and only Kick, $10 million a year. So they offered him at this point, with all this information behind the scenes. Yes, the Kick would not have been aware of what was going on internally at Twitch, but with everything else, other streaming sites didn't want to offer him a deal because it just looked too right? YouTube, Facebook, like, that's kind of sketch. We don't even know the full details, but it had to have been really bad. We're not going to touch it. That's, he can be on our platforms because as of now, no one truly knows the reason why. It would be weird if we just banned him outright. That would, we don't know the reason why, so we'll let him be on the streaming platform. But no, we're not offering him a massive contract to be on here. If he wants to, he can. If he leaves, that's it. Kick, meanwhile, was like, we'll offer you $10 million. At which point he turned them down because he wanted $50 million a year. $50 million a year. 10 million wasn't enough. He was like, no, I'm not doing it for less than 50. And those, again, just astonishing numbers after you had just left and been kicked off of a platform for this, right? YouTube's former global head of partnerships at Google, Ryan Watt, confirmed to the Rolling Stone that Beam was not offered a contract due to chatter about the circumstances of his Twitch ban. He says that a Twitch employee and journalist investigating the incident told YouTube employees that it was involved inappropriate messages to a minor. So they'd heard behind the scenes. I don't know if Kick had it as well. I have no confirmation of that, but YouTube had. The unfortunate part of it all was there was so many rumors circulating in the industry, one that a minor was involved, but no one produced first-hand knowledge or evidence because of those rumors. There was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Beam. No evidence produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors. But even still, there was never a reason to do a deal with him after that ban. A spokesperson for CAA, Beam's talent agency, said since 2019, told Rolling Stone he is no longer a client and hasn't been for some time. Several high-profile streamers, including Kai Cenat, Code Miko, and Valkyrie, have condemned Dr. Disrespect in recent days. He was dropped from the 49ers, I think NBA 2K, and maybe even G Fuel Tool. Even today, I'm humbled by that experience as former Twitch employee who was at the company, the bravery of the victims speaking out, and the commitment by my colleagues to do right by them. I hope that we're all on a better path now for it. And so there was some corrections there. But yeah, I mean, again, it's the worst possible shit. And everyone who's like, oh, why are we rushing to condemn him? Oh, everyone is just like, you know, all these people are just too eager to condemn him, maybe because he was like anti-LGBTQ plus in the past or something like that. No, like, I was one of the people who, when Dr. Disrespect was initially banned, didn't have a clear read on the reason why, and was like, there is speculation for sure, but there's absolutely nothing confirming the reason why, and people are speculating it could be something really bad, maybe involving, you know, potential sexual abuse or harassment, but there's nothing, zero, to go on outside of speculation. It is weird that they would drop him like that after potentially offering him an 8-figure contract. It is extremely weird that he would just suddenly go to YouTube, and no one is explaining the reason why. Normally when streamers are banned, they usually come out and like, this is bullshit, or they're like, this is something else. And now that it's all come to light, that people have just been doing everything in their power to try and defend this monster. For why? For what? He's like, not only is what remains of his like entire brand in complete shambles. I mean, he'll be lucky now to get a Kick contract. He'll be lucky to get anything off Kick, let alone like paid by them just to be allowed on the platform, you know. Like, he's demonetized on YouTube, but I am kind of astounded that if this is all true, that YouTube, if someone is a confirmed child predator, probably the people you don't want to have on your platform, no? With big, you know, accounts, thousands of people watching, children. Kick would still take him, probably, you know. I mean, it takes a lot for Kick to get mad or to do something about this kind of shit, but, you know, I don't know if they're going to.
Dr. Disrespect is on the verge of one of the largest downfalls in creator history, going from being one of the most respected and popular streamers on the internet to being hated by everyone after admitting some awfully disturbing
Not
actions.
by the quartering, not by grubs.
He was talking inappropriately with a minor, where I truly believe this scumbag needs to be banned off of the platforms that he's on.
I don't know who's really going to support him at this point. Like, what kind of person is going to watch Dr. Disrespect? If you watch him at this point, you just have to be coping, basically.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be diving into the case of Dr. Disrespect, a once beloved streamer who is now being viewed as an unfaithful predator.
But you all know the story. Everyone knows it all. You've all heard it already at this point.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Voltimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.